All right, guys. So we have a new twist in the AOC versus MTG drama, right? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez versus Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you guys remember before, Marjorie Taylor Greene had challenged AOC to a debate on Twitter, okay? And then after she challenged AOC to a debate on Twitter, she approached AOC in the House and basically asked her to debate the Green New Deal, right? To debate the Green New Deal. Now, apparently, allegedly, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC basically said after Marjorie Taylor Greene finishes reading the bill that they would debate. Okay, now this is according to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, we haven't seen any official confirmation from AOC that she accepted this debate invite, but we also haven't seen her deny it. Okay, which to me, in my mind, tells me that she probably did say that she would do it because, like, honestly, guys, like, it would only benefit her, right? If this is legislation that you claim is so life-changing and so needy, it's not like she's passing any legislation, right? AOC ain't passing no legislation. She might as well debate Marjorie Taylor Greene. It would be good TV, and I think it's a good idea because I think that these congressmen should stand in front of the American people and defend the legislation that they're trying to push, okay? So, I don't think it's a bad idea, and I personally believe that AOC agreed, but I think it was one of them, like, soft kind of like, like, I'll agree, but I'm not going to really be public with it, right? Like, I'll decide later on whether or not I want to follow through. So, apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene had enough, right? She basically confronted AOC about her basically not being willing to debate. Right, so AOC essentially chickened out, or at least that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene is accusing her of doing. So with that being said, there was this exchange in Congress, right, outside of Congress, in which, again, like I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene confronted AOC about this, and then it ended up with AOC feeling scared and expressing security concerns because Marjorie Taylor Greene went up to her and confronted her about the debate. Okay, so this is one of those things, guys, that's being framed against Marjorie Taylor Greene to say that she's verbally assaulting AOC. So let's read a little bit more about what's going on here. As Ocasio-Cortez expresses security concerns after Greene reportedly asked why she supports terrorists. This is according to The Hill. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's office is calling on top lawmakers to ensure that Congress remains safe and civil place for members and staff after Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene reportedly accosted her on Wednesday and accused her of supporting terrorists. Now, who they're referring to is Black Lives Matter and Antifa. The incident was witnessed by two Washington Post reporters, according to the newspaper, which reported that Ocasio-Cortez exited the House chamber before Greene shouted, "Hey, Alexandria," multiple times to get her attention. Ocasio-Cortez did not stop to address Greene, and the Georgia lawmaker continued shouting while asking her why she supports Antifa and Black Lives Matter, claiming they are terrorist groups, according to the Post. Greene also reportedly accused the New York lawmaker of defending her radical socialist beliefs by not publicly debating her after the Republican challenged her on social media last month. "You don't care about the American people," Greene shouted, according to the Post. "Why do you support terrorists and Antifa?" The Georgia lawmaker reportedly told reporters after Ocasio-Cortez left that the Democrat is a chicken who doesn't want to debate the Green New Deal. Quote, "These members are cowards," Greene added. "They need to defend their legislation to the people. That's pathetic." I 100% agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene here, okay? Especially if AOC agreed to the debate, which I don't know if she did, okay? AOC has not said anything publicly about this, even though we have pictures of Marjorie Taylor Greene asking her to a debate, okay? And AOC hasn't said anything. So, if AOC agreed and then she just kind of chicken out and is not trying to make it happen, yeah, I don't see what's the issue with Marjorie Taylor Greene confronting her about this. And if, AOC is going to keep walking, right, and basically try to run away, it's like, come on, you're not even showing common decency, right? You should at least turn around and acknowledge, okay, and maybe it wouldn't escalate as much. Ocasio-Cortez spokesperson Lauren Hitt told the Post that Greene tried to begin an argument with the Congressman Ocasio-Cortez, and when Representative Ocasio-Cortez tried to walk away, Congresswoman Greene began screaming and called Ocasio-Cortez a terrorist sympathizer. Quote, "We hope the leadership and the sergeant at arms will take real steps to make Congress safe, civil place for all members and staff, especially as many offices are discussing reopening. One member has already been forced to relocate her office to Congressman Greene's attack," Hitt said. The Hill also requested comment from Ocasio-Cortez's office on the Post report. Greene's office referred the Hill to a tweet Greene shared on Thursday criticizing Ocasio-Cortez and accusing her of calling the police for security because she's afraid of debating me about her socialist Green New Deal, which is, again, the irony with these Democrats. You know, if AOC did call Capitol Police, you know, again, it's funny how, you know, Miss Defund the Police wants to call the police every single time, you know, she feels like she's in danger. Kind of like, you know, she went out of her way to try to put Republicans on lists, right, and things like that after the Capitol incident. And she also basically tried to fearmonger about Congress people carrying firearms in Congress. Tried to fearmonger about their Second Amendment right. Their Second Amendment right. Tried to fearmonger. Okay? And at the same time, talking about defunding the police, right? And I've done stories about how AOC and the squad pays for a lot of protection. Again, while at the same time telling everybody else they want to defund the police. But as soon as they're in trouble, they need all the security they can get, okay? And it's not even like Marjorie Taylor Greene approached her in a physical way, okay? At least according to this story, right? She just wanted to talk about why you don't want to debate, right? What's the deal, okay? Greene added in a subsequent tweet that any members of Congress supporting terrorists, Hamas, or criminals and Antifa BLM riots in American cities should be expelled. All right, so Nancy Pelosi also spoke on this, and let's see what Nancy Pelosi is saying about this incident.
The verbal assault and real abuse of our colleague, Congresswoman AOC. It's so beyond the pale of anything that is in keeping with bringing honor to the House or not bringing dishonor to the House. It's so beyond the pale that you wonder, it probably is a matter for the Ethics Committee.
All right, guys, so Nancy Pelosi is basically saying this would be referred to the House Ethics Committee. And like I said, guys, to me, this is just more framing in regards to trying to make, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene seem like a dangerous person in Congress, right? Even though there's really no evidence for that. Okay, yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene said some out there things, okay? Out there things, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that she's a dangerous person. And they're trying to frame her as that, right? Same thing Cori Bush tried to do. And that's why I take stories like this with a grain of salt. Because when Cori Bush first accused Marjorie Taylor Greene of confronting her or being abusive to her and needed to move her office away from Marjorie Taylor Greene, when you actually saw the video, it was actually Cori Bush who started the whole situation by going after Marjorie Taylor Greene for not wearing a mask in the hallway, right? So she goes after Marjorie Taylor Greene fires back, and then she plays victim. Cori Bush tries to play victim. So we've seen how this stuff play out. So I take this story with a grain of salt. It's definitely framed in a way to try to make it look like, oh, well, she's trying to be violent, or she might be some issue for AOC, or that she's, you know, assaulting AOC. I just think that what probably happened is that Marjorie Taylor Greene asked for a debate. I think AOC probably accepted, right? Because again, if she didn't accept, why would she let Marjorie Taylor Greene run around on social media saying that AOC accepted the debate and that they're going to have a debate? I don't see why she would do that. She should shut that down instantly, right? And I think that AOC really didn't want to do it, okay? And I think that now Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling her bluff, and I think AOC, again, is trying to play victim with this, right? But she's not really trying to address it. She's not really saying anything. But with that being said, I'm taking the same stance on Marjorie Taylor Greene that I've taken for a minute on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Although I think that the debate idea was good, if AOC is obviously chickening out, then she just need to let it go, right? Just let it go. But what else do these congressmen expect Marjorie Taylor Greene to be doing? They kicked her off of her committee assignments. She hasn't been in Congress long at all, so she has limited power to legislate. So it's not really like she has that much to do. Okay, she doesn't really have that much to do. And like I said, that's why I thought the debate was a great idea. That's why I thought it was a good idea. But obviously, it seems like that's not going to happen. It was probably a long shot from the get-go. I just recommend that Marjorie Taylor Greene stick to legislating, stick to, just doing her job and doing what she's elected to do. Obviously, AOC is chickening out. She don't want to debate. I think she really needs to move on. But the Democrats have incentivized Marjorie Taylor Greene to act this way. They really have. Because when you take power away from people, right, you take their ability to be participants in their committees and to do their jobs, what else do you expect them to do? They got to get reelected. So, of course, she's going to make a lot of noise. Of course, she's going to act out, okay? What else does she have to do? What else is she supposed to do? So, again, if the Democrats really, wanted to stop dealing with Marjorie Taylor Greene or felt that, she was some type of threat or issue, I don't know, maybe give her something to do, right? Give her committee assignments back, and maybe she would be too occupied with that to be doing this, and then you won't have to deal with it. But anyways, like I said, man, I just hope Marjorie Taylor Greene, just focus on legislating, man. But at the end of the day, I get it. I mean, she's not a part of the committees. She has limited power. I mean, what else is she going to do? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.